Let's get right into the news. That's right, people. If you thought the New Jersey drone story was cooling down, spoiler alert, it has been heating up crazier than ever. These drones have been spotted all over the world, as I've been saying all week long. We've got some of the craziest UFO orb and UAP sightings you're ever going to see. So if you're watching this video, be sure to hit the like because we're about to dive right into it. Our first feature story comes from Turkey, an unknown city in Turkey on the eve of Christmas Eve. Yeah, that's right. We don't know quite what this is. It seems to be emitting some sort of plasmatic orb principles as we see, the particulate changing shape in the middle of the sky. I really don't know what this is. It's fluidic in its movements, as we can see. It seems to be some sort of energy field around it. As we zoom in, you can see more of the orb traits that we usually see, with the energy field surrounding it, changing shape. It's dynamic in how it moves, and I would chalk this up as an orb UAP. The comments are like, "Welcome to the welcome, brothers light." Right? Exactly. These I'm not chalking up as a drone because I don't know what kind of drone has a massive energy source in the middle of it like this that's emitting. It looks like some sort of crazy nuclear reaction inside the middle of it, holding the two pieces together. I've never seen anything like it. It's like the thing's on fire or something in the sky. But we do see the two stationary lights on the side. This could be, now, roll with me, folks, on this one. There is the theory that the orbs are projecting images of man-made objects and drones, as well as holographic images to disguise themselves. And perhaps this one is either trying to take shape in the form of a humanoid object or malfunctioning, and perhaps it's damaged, or the emission field for the hologram isn't quite working correctly, so it's showing part orb, part drone. This is real weird. This is probably one of the weirdest ones, quite frankly, I've seen out of the whole lineup of UFOs that we've been covering. And this was filmed in Turkey again on December 23rd. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think this one is. Oh, and about the banner, I'm going to be trying to fix that for you guys. I know it's been in the comments. Don't worry, it's going to be a huge banner soon. And here, look at this. We have multiple drone sightings in Arlington, Texas on January 6th, 2025, year of our Lord. Look at all these drones in the sky above these Texas fields. There are probably at least 9 of them that I have seen in this video, and they're all flying in formation, keeping pace with the cars, which means they're going pretty fast, and they must be very high up for them to not be totally obfuscated by the nearby hills and land surrounding it. These drones are absolutely massive. Look how big they are, folks. I mean, think of how big it has to be. Okay, so your drone would be like the size of a chair, smaller than that, profile in the sky with lights on it. Something the size of a chair isn't going to be that big when it comes back in focus, that big in the sky, making with lights. It would look more like a small little dot, not something absolutely massive. And how far away is that? How far away is that? I mean, we're trying to detect where that is. These are and it looked like when the video loops back over, what looks like, if you pay attention right here, behind the refinery, once we get over this hill, there seems to be some city lights at the start of this video, or I believe it might have been at the end. Yeah, just keep watching. See, right down there, so there's a whole cityscape right on the other side of that hill that these drones are hovering over. There's probably going to be hundreds of videos of this, folks, in the coming days. You just have to trust. And people in the comments are saying these are planes. They're not planes. Have you ever seen a plane not move in the sky? How is that even possible? Single engine Cessna? No, I don't think it's just going to stay up. Well, okay. It gets a huge upward draft maybe for a bit. Not for an entire duration of an hour or so, right? And someone said they've been seeing these every night in Arlington. It seems to be that, as we know, these drones have been coming out of the coastal regions and moving more inland with their sightings. But these have been being spotted every single night in Arlington. Arlington might be a new hotbed of UFO drone activity. Let me know in the comments section if you're in the Arlington, Texas area and have seen these. I'd love to see some footage of it or talk to you about it. Because planes don't fly like that. Even helicopters aren't going to stand still, okay? Like, you can't trick me. Well, we heard you had a problem with the banner, so we fixed it for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm going to work on it. We're going to try to fix it for you. We have to have a little levity, okay? A little levity before we get into some of these topics. I hope you appreciate the joke, okay? A little funny. We're doing the alien invasion. They're still happening. These are being reported, as I said, every single day. And this is over in the Simi Valley, California, January 4th, 3 or 4 days ago. Possible drone sightings. This looks more, to me, like a plasmoid orb, okay? It's not really blinking in the way that the drones do, where they go on and off. This sort of pulsates more like an energy object as opposed to a light being simply turned on or faded out. And it seems to have a dynamic shape to it, whereas the drones are more standard in how their formation is. You know, they'll have a set amount of lights, a certain distance apart. This thing seems to change how bright it is and the shape it is. If we had a better camera on this, I bet you we'd see it might even be a triangle ship formation. I've heard you guys mention the TR-3B ship in previous comments. I'm very curious to see if we get some footage of that. If we do, I will show it to you. But yes, in Simi, California, January 4th, orb sighting. See, they're everywhere, people. All you need to do is take your camera out, film up at the sky. You'll see one probably. And look at this. This is in Paraná, Brazil. This is that infamous spoon UFO that we've been covering all week long. I believe it's the same one. It had the same sort of outline as this one. It's a cigar-shaped UFO, but you can see it at night, which is the weird part. Yeah, like, usually these are very hard to see at night, so it's catching light from somewhere. And people are in the comments on this one are saying it's the mothership. I could believe that. This has only oddly been spotted in Brazil. And this was on January 6th, so just the other day. This thing is crazy. This spoon UFO is probably the most ominous thing. This should be in the media every single day. Now, I've heard people conflate this with it being a Starlink train. My friends, this is not a Starlink train. A Starlink train would be like, it'd be like dot, 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 where I'm holding the mouse, dot, dot, in a line. They can be in tight formation, right? But they're not going to be in that tight of a formation. And I've seen them where they're like dot, 2 dots here, right? Flying across and just continual. This is a single object. And it's massive. It's massive and it's far away in the sky. It's not a plane either. It's way up in the atmosphere. And so the people of Brazil are being essentially terrorized by this spoon UFO that flies overnight every few days so far from in the January and December season. But let me know what you think this is. People are saying this is the mothership. I kind of believe it. It's absolutely massive and it flies silently. And for some reason, this shouldn't be visible in the sky at night, people. It doesn't have lights on it when we've had clear footage. It's actually just like a reflection of light from space. Or maybe they do have lights internally, but It is the weirdest thing I've seen in a long time. It's a giant cigar-shaped UFO, but it actually kind of looks like a spoon on some days. And I think it's the same one because this has been flying over various cities of Brazil on New Year's Eve, and it returned on January 6th. And here it is again, folks. The same spoon UFO in Minas Gerais, Brazil, January 6th. So this is an entirely different city. That same long, elongated shape flying through the sky in the middle of the night. This is not a Starlink. Again, Starlink train, not like that. Multiple dots. This is a solid object. It's too bad the person didn't zoom in. And it seems, the previous one had another sort of object like that flying near it, like a leader or sort of scout ship around it. This thing's going to be absolutely massive in the sky, folks. How far away is it? So that was 2 of the spoon UFOs. Same day. The same one we saw from New Year's Eve over in Brazil. And this is on 2 cities in Brazil that are, they couldn't be further apart, people. That's crazy. This is actually pretty terrifying. And here's one covered on Fox News. If you didn't know, there's massive wildfires out in California in the Los Angeles sort of area. So we're going to give our prayers to those people. Hopefully, a lot of them got out of the area before it totally caught on fire. But as you can see in this national news footage, I want you to pay attention just to the left screen right here. What the hell is that? Okay? Look at this. Have you seen anything do that? Can you even perceive what is doing that? Something has flown across and over from the fire area at a super low altitude. Now, this wouldn't be just a regular plane. A regular plane, a conventional plane, even a firefighting plane. Okay, maybe firefighting planes would fly low, but they wouldn't fly that low, just slightly above the horizon. That's below radar thresholds generally, right? Some of these buildings are taller than how low that plane is flying, if that is a plane. And I don't think it is, okay? It's not a plane. And why I'm saying it's not a plane, look how friggin' fast it is. First of all, we have so many factors here. It's so low to the ground, how fast it's flying, it rapidly, suddenly changing directions like that. This more fits in line with UAP, UFO phenomena. People say it might be an orb. I doubt it. It could be. It seems to be giving off some sort of plasmatic trail behind it. However, this generally is giving us some of the observables, some of the 5 observables, okay? It's not making any sound. It's making what could be a hypersonic incursion if it's going that fast, because it seems to speed up and then just disappear into the distance very fast. This isn't some, and I don't want to say the word right because it's a little scary to think of, but generally with fires, right? A lot of houses have flammable and combustible material. So for example, paint cans, whatever, anything that can, if they get heated enough, will explode. This isn't something that's been exploded. That sounds so stupid to say. That isn't something that has exploded in this fire region out of this area. Like, it's not something that exploded here out of this into that, because look how far the distance is. We can sort of summarize it because how many trees are there, the lights. That's got to be what, a mile or 2, maybe even more, 5 miles of distance. How friggin' far away is this? And look how fast it's flying away. We're going to follow it again. It comes out of the fire area and heads off at a rapid breakneck speed into the distance, altering course mid-flight. If this isn't a UFO, people, I don't know what is. And it's scarily at the scene of one of the major wildlife natural disasters that has hit the west coast of the United States. Even though the mainstream media has been totally silent for the past few weeks about these UFOs, there isn't clearer evidence than this. How are they going to explain this one away? Okay? It's not a glitch. It's not a glitch on the camera. This is insane, whatever that was. It looked like a fighter jet flying away at Mach 1. There are no explanations for that. And we know the fires are up here. This is land. This is all land. So whatever this is flying real low to the ground, that's faster than a man-made man-made drone. Okay? A man-made drone isn't going to fly as fast as that did across the screen. It's not a helicopter. Helicopters can go fast. I don't think they're going that fast, though. Okay? Whatever that is, that's frightening. Maybe these fires have gotten a little too close to something they shouldn't have, or maybe the drones and UFOs are trying to help out, or I don't want to think of the negative implications of that right now. But this was on national news, and I don't think they can be silent much longer. I mean, the evidence is right there in front of your face. SKIZZLE'S also covered this, but adding some levity to the situation. He makes a great joke here.
Credibility in that regards. But then you see like this guy. So it's almost crashing, and then he straightens himself out or herself out. I don't know. Maybe it was an alien baddie. Man, I wanna definitely do it. Like, it's getting tough out here, guys, on Earth, finding like a real one. You know what I'm saying? Aliens before GTA 6, aliens before I find the love of my life. Come on, man. Oh, hell no, bro. So, and a lot of people do say that most of the UFOs that do crash...
Listen, if the reptilians are as fun as they say, I wouldn't say no, okay? But you can go check out SKIZZLE'S video. The link is in the description. So this is a possible UAP sighting in Curitiba, Brazil, again on January 6th. This is all predating the Spoon UFO that was spotted later that night. And look at this thing. This thing rapidly changes directions as it's filmed in the sky and positions, and seems to fly with ease, suddenly stopping and starting. I mean, these are all indications of a UFO alien ship. We've never seen anything fly quite as dynamically as this. It could be a drone, as we have covered before, but I've never seen a drone fly that fast and stop that suddenly as this has. And this has a disc shape, not like a drone. Drones, you'd see the rotor whirling, and at this range front, if this was a drone, you would hear it in the video file, the whirring of the blades. Drones are actually pretty loud. They have a distinct sound to them. The neighborhood kids, and like, okay, I live maybe, what would you say, 500 meters, maybe less than that, from my nearest neighbor who has a drone. There's like a family that's next door. There's a huge wooded area between them and me. They've flown it over my place. I've seen the drone. I've heard it coming. I'm like, what is that? See it? I'm like, okay, I know what it is. Some kids in the Walmart parking lot were playing with drones, or it might have been security. And you will know it's a drone. You can hear it. This thing is making no sound, okay? I'll be quiet for this when we loop it over again. And you be the judge. We're almost there. This thing is moving at crazy speeds, doing turns that it shouldn't be doing if it's not a drone. This is more like a UFO. So all the background noise was just cars and motorbikes driving by in the background. You didn't hear the ramping up of speed for the engine 4 if this was a drone again, because it's not a drone, people. You know what it is. I know what it is. We all know what it is. Quite frankly, folks, even your favorite president, he knows what it is. He knows this isn't a drone. He knows that a certain species is coming, and they will be coming very quickly and quietly and making themselves known sometime in January. And folks, this is just the introduction. This is just the welcoming party for your favorite president. If you guys want me to do a whole one as 47, 45, I'll do it. I have no qualms about it. But if you enjoy the investigative coverage, thank you guys for watching. We're going to keep going into it with the next video. This is truly astounding. I want your guys' opinion on what you guys think this was. Clearly, I'm leaning UAP on this one 100%. Why? And also, it's in the same country that we saw the spoon UFO flying over later that night and a few nights prior. Could this be the spoon UFO way up in space sending landing parties to investigate, quote unquote, Brazil? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking these ones in Brazil are all localized to the greater spoon UFO in the sky, and that perhaps it's launching these to come down and investigate or find whatever it's looking for. I don't think this necessarily relates to the New Jersey drone phenomena we've been covering. Maybe it's all related because they're all sort of ramping up. If the New Jersey drone phenomena is about the nuclear emissions, this is about something entirely else that we have no idea. And the government of Brazil really, quite frankly, needs to come to grips and give us an answer right away, because this is going to blow up. And everyone in Brazil, if you're in Brazil, film your skies, people, because these things have been spotted every day since Christmas. And we're getting some of the best footage out of Brazil. But coming back to Connecticut, again, this isn't too far from Jersey, okay, or New York. We're getting possible UAP sightings. I'm not quite sure what these are. These behave very weirdly, blinking in and out of reality, it seems like, or just catching the light at the right angle. They make absolutely no sound. The only sounds we're hearing are from nearby traffic. These don't seem to be similar to the drones, but they might be. It's in the area, so I'll just chalk it up in the general. This is Wallingford, Connecticut, January 9th, okay? It was... This was yesterday. This is as fresh as you can get. These objects in the sky seem to be... They could be orbs, okay? They are giving that signature sort of nucleus look when zoomed in upon, but I really can't tell. And they seem to blink in and out of reality, or at least as lights in the sky turn themselves on and off. Perhaps they're aware of the filmer's presence. They could be. You know, these UFOs seem to be very cagey when someone brings a camera or phone out. And this person's outside clearly, so there's no glitching from glass of light reflections on a lens. This is a person filming the sky above them. What these are, I have no clue. They are certainly frightening a bit. This all runs in line with what we've been seeing for the past 3 weeks. You know, this should be... I know we have a big news story right now we actually have had technically 3 major news stories. I can't get into them except for the fire one, right? Which I did earlier, right? But the others, I'm not going to talk about just because we can't on this platform. This should be the 4th major news story, because these drones, these UAPs, have not ceased their operation, they've increased their operation. Remember, the FAA flight rules that restricted flying for the New Jersey area was expanded all the way to January 19th on the eve of New Year's Eve, okay? It got expanded. The news coverage didn't cover it. And actually, when I was watching the news the other day, it was crazy. The main anchor, and this was national news coverage. I watched Fox News in their morning show, their pre-morning show, and one of them said, it's like how the drones disappeared. That's just not a thing anymore. She said it like very confidently that the drone story was done. People, we just covered a whole bunch of new sightings in the past that have all occurred within the past 72 hours. And there's hundreds more hours of footage that have emerged every single day from this. There is so much drone footage, and the media is being absolutely silent. This should be one of the main stories on it, and I don't understand why, unless they're superbly incompetent or superbly corrupt and they can't talk about it. That anchor saying that the story is over, that the drones have stopped appearing over New Jersey, is absolutely lying or completely out of her element for saying that, when we've seen more and more appear, not only there but around the entire world. How can they get away with lying like that? I don't understand. Now, this next one's a little controversial. I'm not sure I can even show it to you. We could be getting into flying a little too close to the sun. But we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it for the content and because I like you guys. Okay? You just brace yourselves for this one, okay? I don't know if you're ready. We don't know how legitimate this one is, but we're going to dive into it, okay? So, what do you think about this? Just casually bring it up, right? What are your opinions on this one? Now, this is from a site called Cybervisions. This could be completely CGI AI generated. But listen, if it isn't, it's a good fake. If it isn't, then the implications are a bit scarier. This is apparently alleged crash UFO. And it looks fairly massive. Now, if this was, I would chalk this up as more man-made object, because look at the angles on this. Generally, people, when describing UFOs, it's more shaped, actually more like this one, where it's flatter pieces as opposed to segmented sections that have been attached on. Something like this, but even less sectional like that. Like, you can see the seams on this. Now, if this could be entirely AI generated, that's the thing, folks. I don't know. We're going to get into it. Maybe see if it is. If it is, it's fairly well done. But again, this could be completely CGI as well. We're trying to look for telltale signs if this is a fake. See, if I could see the person's faces, I'd have a better idea. But I can't blow this up any further. Let's see. Hold on. We got some tricks. You can't not trick me on this. Why I might actually chalk this up as CGI, or rather AI generated, is at first I thought, okay, this is the crashed one, right? This is crazy. But I want you to pay attention to this UFO. Apparently this is just one area, right? This is the one I keyed on first when I watched this, and I watched the end of it. Now I want you to pay attention. If this is one UFO crash, Why has the scale of it changed? So this was smaller than the people, first of all, when they started out. Pay attention to how big the people are. Now it has entirely changed into a different shape. This UFO is now more angular than it was before. This is all rounded. And look, he's taller than the UFO itself. Here he's around just slightly taller, maybe like an inch or two taller than the UFO. Watch what happens in the next shot. Now all of a sudden the UFO is twice or 3 times bigger than them. Just this massive object that has been buried in the ground. If this, see this part here, say this ridge line right here was at the ground, they wouldn't be taller than the top part of this. Suddenly now it's a lot taller than it is. And we don't see burial marks from where this would be excavated from, or what would be, second of all, what would be holding this up, lifting it from the ground. And the onlookers, that wouldn't be a thing. This is, quite frankly, people, a total fraud. A total fraud. A good one, though. And then again, the changing of the shape. This is not the same. This UFO seems to have, what, one angled edge here, a whole angled side over there, and then suddenly this. Then suddenly entirely round for another part. How many sides to this UFO are there? Half of it is round, another half a bunch of angles with a door, and the other half angles with a door, and then a bunch of these panels on the other entire half. You know, like 4 halves make what, 2 friggin' UFOs? Don't they? And the door suddenly changes position. Yeah, you can't fool us. Deduced. We detected it. We destroyed your forgery. It's a fake. Get it out of here. All right, this is from China. As I said, the Chinese have been surprisingly quiet about their UFOs because, well, we didn't really have the data. I've been saying it all week long, folks, that getting video footage from China has been notoriously difficult. This is from January 7th. Possible orb sighting over in Hebei, China, January 7th. Nah, that's the moon, one of the comments said, right? That's the moon. You know, that's the moon that moves over. Well, I mean, there's a whole thing about the moon we can't even get into. It's hollow. Oh, God, it's hollow. This is the moon that moves across the entire city at 200 kilometers an hour. Just casually across the entire skyline, illuminating everything in its path. This is scary. This is a total UAP orb. This is insane. Probably some of the best footage we've seen. Look how it affects the camera. The cameras all have to adjust for their brightness setting, right? It's called white balance, generally, and brightness. So they'll have a calculated setting that they adjust for, and you can try it with your own camera. You film a bright light object, the camera will adjust the settings usually automatically, and then if you go film a dark area, it will acclimate and try to boost its own settings in the camera, the ISO, and the white balance to get yourself a better image quality picture. This orb is affecting the camera's automatic sensors, which is, if you were trying to fake this, right? If you were faking this, you would have to go to meticulous effort to factor that in, and it actually wouldn't be working. Okay? You know how I know? Because these buildings, the black levels on them go right to maximum as the camera adjusts. Watch the orb. Watch the orb fly behind the first building. Watch this, okay? This building is illuminated here. Now all of a sudden it's not that side. How crazy is that? If you're a camera nut, that's your camera reacting to it. And suddenly the light source isn't there, so it has to compensate for the newest, brightest thing in the image, or that it can see, which would be these lights here. and they're at a different level, so the camera is now adjusting its settings to account for that, as opposed to the last previous brightest thing in this, which was in the image, which was this in the complete darkness. That is insane. And look, it's illuminating everything around it. This is one of the best UFO orb images and videos we've ever seen. Whatever this is flying across the sky, it could be a UAP, it could be an orb, alien ship rather, or just an orb. This is massive. This is unexplainable in how it flies. It makes sudden changes. It defies all of our laws. It's about as bright as the moon, okay? And it's flying, screaming across the sky at a great pace. I told you the Chinese footage would be some of the best we'd see, because, I mean, surely they're getting these drones if they're being seen all around the world. And you know what? I think this is some of the best we've ever seen. Galactic Federation, much, okay? The Palladians coming to guess. This person filmed it in the parking lot of these 2 high-rise buildings in the middle of the city. This is crazy, and we even get zoomed in footage showing the plasmatic field change shape on the orb. This is beautiful. Some of the best footage we've seen, quite frankly, of the whole UFO UAP phenomenon. This is going to be insane, and I think this is just the beginning. This is absolutely stunning. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the China orb. Do you guys think this is real? I chalk it up as real 100%. This is beautiful. And imagine how many more people even saw this. It's a city filled with people. That would have probably blown their minds. I want to get, if they have Chinese Twitter, I want to see what their feeds are for January 7th in Hebei, China. But I think that maybe about wraps us up for tonight. We ended it on a high note, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. All right, maybe I'll do one more. I'll do one more for you. We have an orb sighting in Santa Cruz, California, January 7th, 2025 at 7:50 p.m.
Yeah.
And on top.
Now, this is an orb sighting. We have people narrating these things flying in the sky here. That is just reflection off the amusement park, so don't worry about that. This is the thing we are focusing on.
Yeah.
You got a whole bunch of people filming this.
Crazy, dude.
That is crazy, dude.
He's probably flying it.
Come closer, dude.
Have you ever seen an orb fly so low to the ground? These orbs seem to be getting bigger and are flying much lower. Now, this isn't a helicopter. You'd hear a helicopter if it was. This is an amusement park. You can hear the whole amusement park area. You'd hear this if this is a helicopter. This is moving erratically through the sky. You have multiple cameras capturing it in the video. It's affecting all the area around it. This is another great piece of footage.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at it. It changes shape with the plasma field.
Yeah, bro. That's a UFO, bro.
It's a UFO completely.
See how it moves?
Yeah.
It moves erratically, stops, starts. It seems to be aware that's being filmed too.
He's probably flying it.
Come closer, dude.
Look at that.
It's coming closer.
It's getting closer to the people. I'd be running away, probably terrified. Look at that. The plasma field's changing shape. Just classic orb behavior. Anyway, that does it for me today. I hope you guys had fun and you stay safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section about some of these UFOs and UAPs and orbs we've been seeing. The sighting frequency has only increased, so I don't get why the mainstream media is so quiet about it. But if you see something out there, I hope you guys film it and you guys stay safe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.